I guess talk us through how the last couple of weeks have been for you as an All Blacks captain, coming off a couple of losses and with a long time to wait between games.
Yeah, it's certainly been reasonably challenging. I suppose what it's taught me is to focus on the stuff that we can control here in our environment. We've had a pretty clear focus of what we can do at training, and it's pretty much just been about sort of waking up each day and trying to do the best we can that day. But really excited now. You know, once we hit Monday this week, we changed hotels on Sunday. There's a bit of excitement about the week and a bit of an edge leading up to this one. We've been hanging out for it for the last 2 weeks now, so can't wait for tomorrow night.
Have you learned a bit about yourself as a leader over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think, like I've learned, I think I've always been reasonably good at trusting my other leaders and hopefully trying to empower them to lead. So I've had tremendous support from many of the boys. So it's just been about connecting with them and making sure we're on the right path and regular little catch-ups and chats. And, we've put lots of work in behind the scenes, so hopefully we'll see that pay off tomorrow.
There was a wee bit of backlash to some of the comments you made on Sky last week. Were you surprised by some of the response? I know you actually said in the interview you don't consume much of the media, but were you surprised by some of the response to what you said?
Yeah, I was. I probably was a wee bit, but I was pretty happy with the whole interview as itself. So if the whole interview's viewed, I think it helps put everything into context. But look, I've always sort of spoken my mind and been reasonably honest. I hope most people will appreciate that. So it'd be easy to always do these interviews and just play a pretty straight bat and generic answers. But I suppose every now and then being honest may create some headlines.
And just finally from me, Sam, what would you most like to see from your side tomorrow night? Is it more passion or what would you like to see to take down this Argentina side?
Yeah, definitely a wee bit more passion. We're coming up against one of the most passionate sides in world rugby on their day, so a wee bit more passion, but also just being physical and clinical and smart. So, that's All Black rugby at its best, so hopefully we can put that out there.
Thanks, mate.
Sam, Joe Porter here from RZ. How are you, mate? Hey, look, what do you expect the Diego Maradona effect to have on the game and the Pumas coming into this clash, just to give them a bit of extra motivation? Do you think it'll have any effect on the match and the way they play at all?
Look, I'm probably the last person to ask because I've never played soccer or haven't followed soccer my whole life. So, I'm aware that he's, one of the all-time greats, if not the greatest. Up there. I think he got footballer of the century, I've been told. So, knowing that Argentinian people, from my limited experience with the Argentinian people, I'm pretty sure he's viewed as like a godlike figure almost over there. So it's pretty sad news. It's always sad when a great sportsman or woman passes away, because I think everyone sort of feels connected to the greats. So I'm sure that'll be a bit of a driving factor for them.
And you've got largely the same team that was beaten by the Pumas a few weeks ago. Is it nice to have that Ian Foster has sort of had faith in you guys and given you guys a shot to make amends, so to speak?
Yeah, it's always nice, and I think everyone in the squad's hurting, but there'll be some guys, a lot of us that went out there and played that to get the opportunity to try and right some wrongs and put some pride back in the All Black jersey is good for us. So let's take it.
And I guess the Argentinians' desire to play without the ball and sort of play in your half and get penalties and kick them. It's fairly simple in many ways, but how do you, I guess, adjust to that kind of game plan, and you're confident you just combat that on the weekend? Does it mean you have to change your style of play more? Do you have to play more with the ball out of hand, or are you confident you can hold on to position and starve them of those opportunities? What does it change from your approach the last time you played them?
Yeah, there'll be some small changes. The fact that their defence has been so good and they back it, that's a challenge for our attack. So the real challenge is to see where the space is and exploit it. And we didn't do that obviously overly well last time. We still managed to outscore them in terms of tries, but if you think of the whole game, discipline will be massive. We don't want to be playing out of our end. So discipline and seeing the space and having the skills and to execute it and get there.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Sweet.
Sam, it's James from News Hub here. Hope you're well. Will Rugby have kind of indicated or said that retaliation and any of that stuff will be punished after a tense couple of games across the Tri-Nations? How do you kind of counter that Argentinian niggle then, and how do you approach that as a captain as well?
Look, it's a funny one. You penalised the retaliation, but what was the reason for retaliation? So I'm not going to chat about what they're going to do, but I will say that this week that we've got absolute buy-in that we're not buying into any of that. Doesn't matter what the RGs do unless it's completely below the line. Then we'll just be getting on with our jobs and focusing on the next task.
Are you expecting anything different from them as they try and change it up and change their approach? Have you thought much about that?
Look, they'll be playing their third test in 3 weeks. So they would have spent they'll definitely be trying to change a few things, but I think the basis of their game and the area they really back themselves as a team is their defence. So defence and Nicolas Sanchez running the cutter in terms of putting him in the right parts of the field. So I can't think of any big obvious changes that I see coming, but we'll always be on our toes. There'll be a few tweaks, no doubt. We'll just have to be ready for them.
Thanks.
Hey Sam, Abby here from One News. How does the mood compare in the team heading into this match, sort of based on everything that's happened, compared to when you last were going to play for Argentina, probably quite fresh and with maybe a lot more optimism? Is there a really different mood?
There is a slightly different mood. I think there's been a bit of, I suppose the easiest way to explain it would be a bit of edge, a bit of almost grumpiness throughout the week. Got guys from the leadership group making sure things are spot on and not accepting anything that's not. And it's always a little bit of a different feeling. So we're bussing up to Newcastle today, so it's sort of like going in there to do a job and hopefully come away with the result.
When you say grumpiness, do you mean like when things go wrong in training, sort of not tolerating joking around, or what do you mean by that?
Yeah, a little bit like that. And look, like sometimes it's on other weeks it's good to have a wee bit of fun. But look, we're so focused and just want to get the most out of every training session this week to give ourselves the best chance of playing well. So I hope that explains it.
As far as you personally, I mean, heading into a match, when you've lost two, is tough, but also facing, I guess, scrutiny of your captaincy and things like that. Where is your head at? How are you able to remain focused, and are you feeling positive? Are you feeling under pressure?
Look, you always feel the pressure. There's pressure to perform as individuals. Now, as a captain, there's you feel the pressure of the team's performance. So, but it would be weird if there wasn't any pressure, because it's always been like that. So, look, my head's in a pretty good place. I'm similar to the team, very focused on what we can control and trying to get a good performance and sort of blocking out any outside noise and just worrying about what's important.
Just finally from me, the forecast for the weekend, it's looking like it's going to be bloody hot in Newcastle. How are you feeling about potentially kicking off in 30-degree temperatures?
Yeah, it's going to be very hot according to the weather. So we had a bit of a run around. We had a big training yesterday in the heat, and yeah, it certainly takes it out of you. But yeah, it's the same for both teams. We like playing fast. We like playing up tempo and trying to push the opposition and push ourselves till it really hurts. And we hope that's when the sort of magic happens on a rugby field. So we'll be ready for it and just embrace it.
Oh, g'day Sam, Mark Hinton here. Before I let you go, just quickly, if you were to put a theme for the week, for you guys' perspective, your final week as All Blacks for 2020, what would it be? What is the one thing you're kind of looking to embrace this week?
Jeez, Mark, you could have almost texted me and given me a heads up on this question. What's the one thing? Well, one, embracing the pressure that we're under as a team, but using that in a really positive way to drive us. And I think we're just really driven to get a performance that we're proud of as a team. The last two games, the feeling is just horrible, and there'd be nothing worse than feeling that again leading into summer. So, but we're just driven to try and put a performance that we're proud of and get it right.
Thanks, mate. Good answer.
Thanks.
Sam,
last couple of questions, thanks.
From the Newcastle Herald. Have you visited Newcastle before, and what are your thoughts on having a test here?
Hey mate, I haven't visited Newcastle before, so it'll be a first for me. Maybe you could tell us what the weather's like up there today.
Be cool this morning, it should be warm tomorrow.
Yeah. So we're on the bus in about 45 minutes to head up there, so looking forward to getting up there. And look, I think it's great to spread out test matches around the country. I'm always a big fan of going to new places where we quite often play at the same stadiums and stay at the same hotels, so looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, how important do you see that for the All Blacks and I suppose international rugby to venture outside the capital cities to other places to play test rugby?
Yeah, I suppose that for the organisers, the proof will be in the crowd numbers and the support. So if that goes well, then maybe they'll start to do that a wee bit more.